So the book we're discussing today is
Oh,
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. That was our October selection.
I love the kids. That was the thing. I really wanted to know more about their abilities and all of that. Like, I like the floating girl, and I think it's because it's on the cover, right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
the little girl on the cover, which, of course, totally drew me to the book. This is, like, why I wanted to buy it, right? I was like, oh, my God, it's such a cool picture. Oh, my God, it's a real picture. And then the back is a bunch of other pictures. So you're like,
Right.
you want to buy this book. Hi.
That of the twins, that bothered me. That really,
Yeah.
that I don't like that. That was not good.
Okay, well
See, and
then
I think
let's.
this is why you said it was scary, right? It was creepy.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that trailer, and because the grandpa is spooky as fuck. Like he is not like a cuddly. His voice, everything about him, I was just like, oh my god, this grandfather's gonna eat this kid.
Why didn't they just get what's his face, Victor? The guy who does the voice on Thriller. They should have just got that. To
Oh,
be
Vincent Price, right? It was
Vincent Price.
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
very Vincent Price voice, this actor. And so when he says, well, what kind of monsters or something like that, I really thought the grandfather was going to say me and it was just going to go super creepy.
Ooh.
But it didn't, but it was still creepy enough. So yeah, the trailer makes you think that that book is going to be about like those kids getting killed off one by one, like serial killer style. Like it totally is not the same. Because maybe he wanted to use the photographs, sometimes I felt like there were just too many fucking kids and I couldn't keep them straight.
Oh,
So I had a hard time caring about any of them other than Emma. And I liked the boy who could reanimate.
Mm.
yeah. Enoch.
I liked Millard. I liked the Invisible
Yeah.
Boy.
Me
Invisible
too.
Boy and
Who was
Bronwyn.
kind of like a fashion maven, you know?
Yes.
I liked him.
Yeah. But yeah, the children, who were your favorites, I guess?
Well, I liked Claire. She was or is it Olive? See, I can't remember their names, right?
Because
But I
there was too
remember
many of them.
Yeah, I know. But she's the levitating girl. She's the one who they jumped on and she brought them to the ground.
Okay.
And
Right.
she wore leaded shoes. Yeah, I thought, and I don't know if it's just because I have a clear image of her because of the cover of the book. But anyway, I liked her, and I liked Bronwyn a lot. She was the one that she
Yeah.
could carry the rocks and the boulders
Right.
and all that, and she could throw things at like lead pieces of metal at people.
Right.
She seemed more like a superhero than any of the other ones. And then,
Yeah.
of course, Emma, because, you got to know her because she was Abe's girlfriend and now she's Jacob's girlfriend. Because that's how that family rolls.
Aside from Jacob, I would say that yeah, Emma was my favorite, and I liked her even before I knew like what she could do because
Yeah.
she was
Mhm.
just a badass with a knife. Like, don't
Yeah,
fuck with me, I will
exactly.
cut you. And he's like, who is this girl? I enjoyed that. Like I said, I liked the Invisible Boy
Yeah.
because I felt like his personality was more clear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Even
the rest of the kids are kind
Clear
of
is his
muddled.
body, Nanea. How about it?
Exactly. I don't think I liked Enoch because I felt like he was sinister. Like when he was talking about how when they were bored, they would just because they're trapped there for what did you say, like 80 years or something, and so they're
Right.
bored as shit. Like they need stuff to do. They've read all their books hundreds of times,
Right.
and there's this village nearby, so they decide that every once in a while they're just going to raid the village and like fuck with people. And it's like fine, because by tomorrow they won't remember it. Like time will reset.
I love that though. Just got there and he went to, the house as it was in present day because it was bombed and it's, been abandoned, and that was so freaking scary to me. Like again, this is me still thinking the book is going to be scary. And when he fell through the floor or when he went down, right, and then he looks up and they're looking down at him, I was like, oh, shit's about to get real. These spooky kids are going to fuck him up. And I was just like, this is going to be great. Then they became friends, and I was like, no, this is, because I felt like that part of the book was just him going there every day to hang out and learn stuff, and I was like, when is this going to get scary?
Enoch is actually in the Bible. He's not dead. He was just taken to heaven by God. So he's technically still alive. He didn't die.
Okay.
So that's because I kept going, why is this kid named Enoch? Why is this kid named Enoch? I just of course, Google searched it, and so that's why he can do what he does, right? It keep people alive.
Yeah.
That
So
was
clever.
super creepy. Like, you know,
Yes,
remember when he finds all the pickled hearts and stuff in the basement? And then, this is okay, because you know how Miss Peregrine is always telling them, civilized persons do not do this, civilized persons do not do that. But it's fine for Enoch to be cutting hearts out of mouses and stuff, mouses. What the fuck? Mice? Hello? I swear there's no Baileys in this copy. He takes the heart out of mice to animate his little clay toy man because he's bored. She's fine with that. Civilized people can mutilate mice.
I see. I like that because I want it a little bit more creepy in this book. I did.
And I love that it was so, you know, kind of Victorian in nature, right? Which is what the photographs are. And I think if you reset your expectations to just creepy, it's a home run. Because those pictures are disturbing. Like, even if you don't, there are no stories, you're just looking at those pictures, you're like...
Okay, I'm so glad you said that because I was just going to say that. I think the pictures are creepier than the story. And so, therefore, I do have a problem with that.
So it might have, we think the book maybe would have been better if this writer had focused on writing a suspenseful story and then went looking for photographs to go with it, instead of, it feels like he found the photographs first.
Right.
Yeah. And then he fashioned these characters, and then he wrote the book.
Yeah.
Right.
I have, I'm looking at his page on Wikipedia, and to be fair, it does say that he collects what they call, I guess they're calling these vernacular photographs, and that he went to his publisher about making a picture book. And they said, oh no, you should put a narrative together to use the pictures.
Oh, I see.
So he did have a idea of putting together this kind of cool book with all these cool pictures in it, and his editor was the one who said, why don't you write a book, a story around the pictures?
I think it's a great concept.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
I found it fascinating, just the whole idea behind it, finding these weird photographs, and I love that
it's
part.
a series, right? So maybe it'll get better or scare, like, you know.
Yeah. I think aside from the suspense, like the creepy part of the story, I did like, and I think this is what made it a YA book, I like the journey of this 15-year-old boy. You know, trying to like, he feels distant from his parents. He's closest to his grandfather. His grandfather's taken away in a really horrible manner. He's questioning his own sanity. You know, he doesn't have a lot of friends, and he just, like, doesn't care about life. And there was something I had highlighted, or maybe I didn't highlight it, but there was a part where he says that he has to decide if he's going to go back to his normal life or stay with the peculiar children, because he finds out he is peculiar too because he can see monsters, which I think is a fantastically creepy gift. Like, you don't think of it as a gift, but it is, because you can see reality. And so they're like, you can stay with us in the loop. And he says to himself, you know, my life had been laid out for me, and it was very ordinary, and it had never occurred to me to refuse it. And I thought, wow, that's a great teenage moment, because I don't think a lot of kids think about that, you know, that guess what, I have the choice here to how I'm going to make my life turn out. So that part I did enjoy. I enjoyed his narrative.
Okay, so let's give the book a grade.
For me, I will say a B+, A-, because I really enjoyed it. I didn't have any preconceptions, and it was, to me, the right amount of creepy. So,
Wendy?
I'm going A-, because I really did enjoy it. I wanted to, I didn't want to put it down. I was intrigued by it. You know, it's the kind of, if I want to sneak it into my faculty meeting to read, I liked it. I think it's because I don't write, you guys I think read more fantasy than me, way more fantasy, and I don't read as much, so I don't have any, like, I can't compare it to other things. I don't read this kind of stuff a lot, except unless it has vampires that fall in love with you. Anyway, so I think because of that and because of the photographs, I was so intrigued by it, and I kind of suspended my disbelief about if it worked or not. So yeah, I would say A-.
I'm gonna go with I'm trying really hard not to do it because it's not the book's fault that it didn't live up to my expectations.
Okay.
However,
It's okay.
it has to take some responsibility for that fucking creepy ass trailer and the pictures on the cover, right?
Right.
You can't sit there and like tell me I'm gonna scare the shit out of you and then I just, tinkle pee a little bit.
And
That's
then
not the same.
fail.
Right. So for that reason alone, I'm gonna go with like a B. Because I was gonna do like a C minus, but then I was like, no, I'm being too harsh because of my expectations. But the trailer and stuff should be accounted for, so I'm gonna go with a B. VaginaCon is looking for a video editor. Linnea mentioned it last night at the roundtable. We need somebody who can dedicate just a few hours a month, really. It's not like a lot of work, to edit maybe 3 to 4 videos a month down to bite-sized bits for YouTube for us. So you'll take a video that's probably an hour and a half, and pull out the highlights and make smaller videos for us.
Little video McNuggets is what we want.
Yes. Little video McNuggets. And we'd prefer, with actually kind of mandatory, that you have iMovie, because we've already started using that for our other videos, and so we like the themes and stuff just so it's consistent with VaginaCon. So if you have iMovie and you want to just do this for us because you like us, just email us at vaginacon@gmail.com and let us know.